Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Hope you're doing great today. And today we are on poor Boyz MX on the factory YZ 125. A little bit of a delayed start. I tried to sneak through this chaos. I almost got lucky there, but you know, still got me in the end. These starts, they get you no matter what sometimes. On a quick note, I am trying to do the Elite Racing Series that's on my MXB. Yeah, my XB. And every Saturday they have a race, so tomorrow is going to be Ironman. So if you are not subscribed to my Kick channel, which I will start exclusively streaming on there, I may use Restream so you guys are notified, or do something. I need to figure out something to notify you guys that I'm currently live or about to be live on Kick. That way you guys don't miss it, because I know a lot of you guys are not subscribed on Kick, as on YouTube I have 116 subscribers, which most of you aren't subscribed, so please consider hitting that subscribe button. It takes 5 seconds out of your day and really supports this channel. But on with Kick, there's only 5-6 subscribers, I think, maybe a little bit more. I haven't been very active on there with what's been going on, but I am trying to get back into the form of making more videos and making more streams and playing more than just MX bikes. Some of you guys have seen I played some Warframe. I believe I've streamed some Destiny, and that's just to tip the iceberg. A lot of the games that I usually do play, I don't stream. But anyways, let's get back to this video. So Poor Boyz MX was created by Mouse. Never played a track by Mouse. And honestly, it's really fun. I've actually played this track, I think, Monday, Tuesday, and I was out here on the Fantic because a buddy of mine was trying to qualify for it, or on it, and I had never ridden it, so I downloaded it, played it. If you haven't played it, it's a really good track. It kind of reminds me as, in the sense that it flows pretty well. It's not as obviously flowy as Villa, but it has its moments where it's just, it feels so smooth, and it's a really good laid out track. It's outstanding. I found that the ruts hold you very well. The traction is great. There's only a few ruts, I believe it's right after the finish line jump, those little braking bumps at the end that can get you sometimes, and I don't know what happened there. You know, MX Bikes has this weird issues and moments sometimes where you get kind of bobbly, or just you're doing everything right, but the game just decides to say, nope, you're gonna go down, you're gonna blow over that berm. That's what happened. But this race, yeah, I started in the back of the pack. Still, I'm in 11th now. Rough race. I had a decent amount of crashes, but so did everybody else, as you can tell by all the carnage on the track. I get lucky here somehow and don't go down, save it, and I don't know if I messed up some people behind me, but that Cowie somehow made it through as well without going down. And I gotta say, this is one of the wildest races I ever raced. Like, I have never raced so clean yet so aggressive in any other race. Like during practice, the warm-up laps, people were just doing what the guy in front of me did to the other bike. They were taking you out the corners left and right if you were in the way. As soon as the gate dropped, though, that was a different story. It was a completely different story. People were riding each other mostly clean and not taking people out in the corners, pushing wide. I never had any of that. But this track is smooth, it's fun, and that's just another what the heck moment from the game, or me, I don't know. But that middle line, I feel like, is the optimal line. Inside line could be optimal too, because you can double in on either line without having to triple or too much speed. And use 5th gear pin and this wide open straight, and it's so fun. This YZ 125, the factory YZ 125, is a monster to ride. I don't know what they did to it, who they talked to, but this thing absolutely rips compared to this OEM 125. If you guys haven't done the factory bikes, go run the factory bikes and just enjoy your grin and smile from ear to ear. Now, the only thing I did do to this bike for the setup for this track was I made the suspension softer, the compression, that's all I did. I left the springs the same, and then I believe I went from the 12 compression to 15 or 16 compression. And oh yeah, the other thing I did was a rebound. I lowered them down to 5. I've noticed through tweaking the suspension, I've become a big fan of having stiffer springs and softer compression because it gives you that bottoming resistance that you wouldn't normally have with softer springs and stiffer compression. It's not something that I don't think a lot of people maybe do in this game, but in real life, that's what you do on the bikes, depending on the jumps and everything. And it just makes sense and it works. Honestly, it works. And I took this analogy from my dirt bike I have in my garage and basically applied it to the game, and how I learned everything from the suspension and the people that helped build it, and talking with suspension shops that build suspension for motocross, enduro, desert racing. And that's basically what happened. Now in this game you can't exactly do the valves, obviously. Now if you could do some gold valves in here, or some factory connection suspension, like if MX Bikes gets that into suspension, part of me wouldn't be surprised, but part of me would also be really surprised because that takes a lot of work and a lot of tweaking in this game. I mean, maybe it's possible in the next chat with the devs, somebody can bring it up and ask about different suspension types come to the game, if that's even possible. I don't know, because this is MotoGP. Basically, it's a base of MotoGP, and they're tweaking the code and the game to fit motocross bikes instead of road bikes. But along with the suspension, there could be more like, MX ATV Unleashed, and it's just like, well, Unleashed, so it dates my age right there, how long I've been playing motocross games. But you can pick the suspension and basically just be like, hey, this is better suspension, or this is worse suspension, and you can pick depending on the riding style or what it's designed for, Have some type of pop-up that says, hey, if you're running factory suspension or KYB stock SSS suspension, it's going to be more geared towards motocross, and then maybe they could have, say, a factory or KYB and have, the YZ250X suspension as a drop-down in the suspension menu. Like, you want softer suspension because you're not going to be running motocross the entire time. Make it kind of more like in real life, where you can tweak your bike, honestly. It's probably just a pipe dream, but it would be really cool, because in reality you can make any motocross bike an enduro bike. You just have to put the right parts on it. Sure, it will not be the best off-road bike like in the woods and enduro, because it still has the motocross roots, but you can still have a really, really good, capable all-around weapon. And I haven't had a chance to run the enduro bikes, that patch they dropped yet. That batch, not patch, yeah, the batch they dropped. But that's a good start. I truly believe that's a good start for them. So when people do the Ace Moto series with the Kraken, Erzberg Rodeo enduros and other stuff like Havasu, having those bikes in the game is the next best thing you can do. So if they can't do like a suspension tweak in the suspension settings, throw a YZ250X in here, or WR250, something that's geared more towards enduro, or even say YZ450FX and KTM's. Like, I know the team's doing what they can, but these are just my ideas for the future. It might make the game better, or it could make it worse. I don't know. I think having the option of more bikes could help this game improve, and maybe give us better options for multiple types of road surfaces, race surfaces, terrain types. Give us some different tire types, different brands. Like the factory bikes have the spec tires. I don't know what brand is. Is that the Dunlop MX32s that are the spec tires? That's why they hook up so good. And are the factory tires like Pirelli's, on the OEM bikes, or are those Dunlops just like a worse model of Dunlop style for traction, design, and grip? But I went off on a tangent there. If you enjoyed it, or have any questions, or think that's a good idea, drop something in the comments, and maybe we can bring it up to the devs or something. I'll get a message to them, ask them about suspension or what their big dreams are for MX bikes. Like, how far do they want to get involved in this game, tweaking it, or do they just want to make it good and for everybody and simple, Because some games have too much in it and it's complicated. So here we are, we're coming up on the last lap here. And at this point, I was ready to settle and finish in 9th or 10th. I was having issues, crashes, just like that, just silly things. And there goes 8th and 9th, all right? But the thing is, with these races, even if you crash, even if you get taken out, you have to keep charging forward if you want to finish good, right? So some people play with their emotions, get to them, they get mad and they ride worse. That's when it's crucial to buckle down, focus on hitting your riding points. You know, you hear the pro riders talk about all the time, just hit your marks, hit your marks, hit your marks. Eventually the race will come to you. Or it won't. Some people are just fast and the race won't come to you. So I kept hitting my marks. I made sure to hyper focus this last lap and try not to jump too hard in there, because sometimes you get bad bounce. Like I passed 7th. Am I 6th now? Am I 8th? Timing scoring hasn't caught up. But this Factory 125 is a ripper. It's fun. I had a blast on it. And we did bar-to-bar racing, like most fun and aggressive race I've ever raced. And poor Boyz MX. It's a good track. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's good in between. Just good old jolly good time, you know? But here we are, coming on a straightaway. Trying to take this guy out coming up next to me. And I was so hoping for me to beat him. And we just drag race to the finish. He got a good drive out of there, but you know what? I still beat him, probably because of cuts. Anyways, that's gonna do it. Take care, y'all. Keep on riding.